Shell-shocked is the word here at Perth Stadium, as England have somehow managed to lose a remarkable test match within 2 days. They're in control of this fixture in the morning, they're in charge of it in the afternoon, yet somehow one Travis Head century later they have fallen 1-0 down in the Ashes, as Australia have won by 8 wickets. How has this happened? Well, there's two storylines today. One is of England players getting out, and the other is of Travis Head, the Australian player, not getting out. We'll start with England, and unfortunately it was a second dramatic batting collapse in as many days. England were in full control of this match at lunchtime, which was about 5 hours ago. They were 100 runs ahead with only 1 wicket lost. They had 9 wickets in hand, and it looked to be the case that if England batted out a calmer day, a more relaxed day here in Perth, that they would be in pole position to go 1-0 up in this series and record an historic victory. Unfortunately, it went the other way. Scott Boland, who'd had a really tough day here yesterday, became the star of the show, and he dismissed Ben Duckett, Ollie and Harry Brook all within the space of 2 overs. It was another dramatic collapse from England. Pick the numbers you want. They lost 3 wickets for no runs. They lost 4 wickets for 11 runs, 6 wickets for about 40 runs, and 9 wickets for just under 100 runs. If it wasn't for Bryden Carse and Gus Atkinson at the end, England would have had a lot less than the 200 to defend that they did. But they did have 200, and it would have been and was the highest score of the test match. But that didn't account for Travis Head moving up to play the role as a makeshift opener. He's never done it in Australia before, and he was only doing it today because Usman Khawaja, the normal Australian opener, well, he'd been off the pitch, a lot of injury, and he wasn't even allowed to bat in the top 2, top 3, top 4 because he'd been off the pitch too long. It's not allowed in the rules. So Steve Smith said after the match that Travis Head put his hand up and said, "I'll do it." And in that moment, the tempo, the mood of the game shifted, because Travis Head is a very attacking player, and England knew that if he got off to a flyer, the 200 runs they had to defend would disappear very, very quickly, and disappear they did. He scored the second fastest test match century by an Australian player ever of 69 balls, and England, well, said it at the top, shell-shocked is the only word to describe it. Somehow they managed to lose this test match, having been in control of it for, I was about to say for such a long time, but we're only on day 2. It's already all over. It's only, I think, about the 25th, 26th test match to finish in 2 days' time in history. It is the fewest number of balls that England have faced as a batting team since, I think, 1904. It's the third number of fewest balls they faced in Test cricket ever. It's quite, to be honest, without sounding hyperbolic, an historically bad day and humiliating defeat for England. Ben Stokes, after play, said that they need to let it hurt. Often, Ben Stokes is uber positive. He wants to make sure that his team is up and about, takes the positives. But today, whilst there was an element of that, wanting to make sure that his team takes no baggage to Brisbane, the next test which starts in 2 weeks' time, he recognised the fact that, well, this was a pretty special, pretty unique set of circumstances, and for a group of players who haven't played much cricket in Australia to lose in such dramatic fashion is going to hurt and is going to take some time to process. He also said, however, that, well, while people may criticise his team's batting approach, the only players out there in the middle that found success were those who took the game on, and he pointed out Travis Head, who, well, he was nothing short of spectacular. When he was eventually out with Australia on the brink of victory, Ben Stokes ran up to him, shook him by the hand, so did Zach Crawley, to acknowledge what was a masterclass, if not genius, innings from the South Australian. The result is Australia 1-0 up, and historically when Australia go 1-0 up, they go 2-0 up, they go 3-0 up, they go 4-0 up, and England will have a massive task on their hands to make sure that doesn't happen again today. It's well, searching for the right word really, it's catastrophic is too strong. It's a big disappointment for England. There was such high hopes going into this series. There was such high hopes this time yesterday, where I was speaking on this same grass in front of this same stadium with England ahead and in control of the match, and yet somehow they find themselves 1-0 down. It's the same old story, but in a completely different manner here at Perth Stadium. We'll be back in Brisbane in 2 weeks' time when England will be looking to make it 1-1.